In Seoul, the subway system runs like clockwork. Trains arrive every few minutes, gliding into stations with a hum and a hiss. The platform screens flicker, the chimes ring, and another wave of commuters disappears underground. Every line, every route, every station, carefully timed, perfectly mapped. Millions of people, all moving in rhythm, as if the city itself has a heartbeat made of iron and electricity. But there's one line that isn't on any official map, one train that doesn't follow any schedule. The locals who whisper about it call it Majimak Jihajeol, the last subway. They say it only runs after midnight, and you can only board it if you've given up on reaching your destination. No one knows where it goes, but everyone who boards it disappears. Park Ji-hoon was having the worst day of his life. He'd been fired that morning. The company called it downsizing, but everyone knew the truth. He'd reported his supervisor's corruption, and they'd buried him for it. He spent the afternoon chasing a new opportunity, sweating in his only decent suit. But when he arrived, the receptionist gave him a polite smile and said, "Sorry, the position was filled yesterday." By nightfall, all he wanted was a drink and a little silence. But the universe wasn't done with him yet. At 11:47 p.m., standing outside a small restaurant near Sindarim station, Ji-hoon saw his girlfriend of 3 years walk out, hand in hand with another man. He froze. The laughter, the way she touched her hair, the tenderness he hadn't seen in months. It wasn't for him anymore. By the time he made it down to the platform, his heart felt like concrete in his chest. He just needed to get home, to sleep, to stop thinking. The last train to his neighborhood was at 11:52. He checked his phone. 11:53. Missed it. He sank onto a cold metal bench, elbows on his knees, staring at the tiled floor. The air smelled like old rain and disinfectant. The last few passengers hurried past him toward the exits. Soon, the station would close. He'd have to find a taxi. He didn't have the money for that. He didn't have much of anything left. That's when he heard it, the familiar chime of an approaching train. But the departure board was blank, and the station speakers were silent. Still, the sound grew louder. The wind pushed through the tunnel. A train was coming. The train emerged from the darkness with a low mechanical groan. It was old. Older than anything still running in Seoul. The paint was faded orange and cream, the kind used decades ago, before modernization. Its lights flickered, revealing rounded edges and analog destination signs that spun endlessly without landing on a name. The door slid open with a hiss. Inside, the car was dimly lit, but clean. A handful of passengers sat scattered among the seats, silent, unmoving, staring at nothing. Ji-hoon should have walked away. He should have found a guard, asked what this train was doing here. But he was too tired, too broken. The train was going somewhere, and right now somewhere was better than here. He stepped inside. The doors shut behind him with a soft click. Final, absolute. The train began to move, but the windows showed no tunnel walls passing by. Just darkness, thick, suffocating, endless darkness. Ji-hoon gripped a pole and looked around. An elderly woman in a pale blue hanbok sat near the front, hands folded neatly in her lap. Her eyes were open, but she didn't seem to see anything. A businessman slumped in the corner, tie loosened, eyes red and hollow. A teenage girl in a school uniform hugged her backpack, rocking slightly. No one spoke. "Excuse me," Ji-hoon said softly to the businessman. "What line is this?" The man looked up slowly. His eyes were bloodshot and weary. "The last one," he said in a hoarse whisper. "Always the last one." "Where does it go?" The man gave a bitter laugh. "Nowhere. Everywhere. Does it matter?" Before Ji-hoon could respond, the intercom crackled, just static. Then came the chime for arrival. The doors opened. The platform outside looked identical to the one he'd boarded from. Same layout, same posters, same vending machines, but the signs were blank. No station name, no exit numbers. A man stood on the platform, staring at the train with vacant eyes. "Don't get on," Ji-hoon said before he knew he was speaking. "Something's wrong with this train." The man looked at him. Tears streamed down his cheeks. "I know," he whispered, "but I can't go back." He stepped inside. The doors closed. The train moved on. The same scene repeated. Each stop, someone else waiting. Each time another soul boarded. A woman clutching divorce papers, a student holding a rejection letter, an old man with a hospital discharge slip, a young woman hiding bruises under her sleeves. All of them shared the same look, numb, hollow, finished. As the train filled, Ji-hoon noticed something strange. The car seemed to stretch. The rows of seats extended farther than before. The passengers receding into haze. Time lost meaning. Minutes, hours, maybe longer, slipped by. He checked his phone. No signal, no time, just his reflection. Older, paler, fading at the edges. "How long have you been riding?" he asked the schoolgirl. She looked startled, as if waking from a trance. "I don't know. I failed my entrance exam. I couldn't face my parents, so I came here. That was yesterday, maybe." The elderly woman spoke, her voice soft and distant. "I lost my son in the war, the one before the one everyone remembers. I was going to visit his grave, missed my train, got on this one." Instead, Ji-hoon's blood ran cold. The war she spoke of had ended 70 years ago. Panic hit him. He ran to the door, pressed the emergency button. Nothing. He slammed the glass. "Stop the train. I want to get off." The businessman stood and put a hand on his shoulder. "You can get off any time you want," he said. "That's not the problem." "What do you mean?" "Look outside." Ji-hoon turned to the window. In the darkness, faint images moved. Scenes from his life, his childhood home, his mother's face, his father teaching him to ride a bike, his first love, his first failure, his first lie. All of it playing out like ghosts in motion. "The train shows you what you're running from," the businessman said. "Every regret, every wound, it feeds on despair. You stay because forgetting feels easier than facing it." Ji-hoon realized he felt strangely calm. The pain of the night, the heartbreak, the humiliation was dull now, almost gone. "This isn't peace," he whispered. "It's nothingness." "Exactly," said the businessman. "You stop feeling, stop remembering. You fade until you're just another shadow in the car." Ji-hoon looked again. Some passengers were no longer solid, translucent, flickering, their faces lost in blur, ghosts of those who stayed too long. He felt himself growing colder, lighter. "I don't want to disappear." "Then get off," the businessman said. "At the next stop, step out and don't look back." The train slowed. This time the platform outside looked familiar. Cinderam Station, home. He saw the convenience store, the exit sign, the vending machine where he'd bought water countless times, and on the platform stood 3 figures. His mother, his best friend, and his ex-girlfriend, smiling softly as she had years ago. "They're not real," Ji-hoon said. "No," said the businessman. "They're what's waiting for you if you choose to live. The people who will still care. The future that still exists." The doors opened. Ji-hoon hesitated. His legs trembled. "I can't," he said. "It's easier to stay." "No one who boards this train is strong enough," the businessman said. "You just have to want to try." Ji-hoon looked around. The girl, the elderly woman, the bruised woman, all watching him, silently pleading. He reached out his hand. "Come with me," he said. "We can get off together." The girl took his hand. Then the businessman, then the others, one by one, forming a human chain that spanned the car, solid and fading alike. Ji-hoon took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. They stepped into the light. Ji-hoon woke on the same bench at Sindarim station. His phone buzzed. 11:54 p.m. Only 2 minutes had passed. Had it been a dream? A hallucination? The cleaning crew was sweeping the platform. Everything was normal. Then he froze. Across the tracks a shimmer. For just a moment, he saw it. The old orange train gliding silently through a tunnel that wasn't there. Faces pressed against the glass, empty eyes staring out. Then it was gone. Ji-hoon stumbled up the stairs, his heart hammering. When he reached the street, he felt the cold wind on his skin, the sting of reality, and smiled. His phone buzzed again. A message from his mother. "Are you coming home this weekend?" He stared at it for a long moment, then typed, "Yes, I need to talk. I've been struggling." It was the hardest message he'd ever sent, but it meant he was still here, still real, still trying. In Seoul, the subway system still runs like clockwork, but sometimes, very late at night, when the last trains have gone and the tunnels should be silent, you might hear a distant rumble, an old chime, the faint hiss of doors opening where no train should stop. If you ever see it, the faded orange cars, the flickering lights, the empty seats that seem to wait for you, don't get on. No matter how tired you are, no matter how hopeless it feels, no matter how much you want to disappear. Because once those doors close, the only way back is to remember why you wanted to leave the train in the first place. And not everyone remembers in time. So if you ever find yourself standing on an empty platform after midnight and you hear that impossible chime echo through the tunnel, take a step back, look away, and wait for morning, because the last subway is always waiting, and it always stops for those who have stopped believing they can still go home.
Subscribe.